United States Secretary of State Blinken finishing his diplomatic meetings in Israel and heading to Egypt and Jordan Wednesday as he continues on to the second leg of his Middle East tour. Departing from Jerusalem to Cairo, the United States Secretary of State moving forwards with his Middle East mission on behalf of the Biden administration to create the grounds for two-state negotiations between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. And the path to do so being through supporting and rebuilding the hard-hit Gaza Strip while ensuring Israel's right to safety and sovereignty, and propping up the PA over the terror group Hamas with the help of regional actors. To that end, after finishing consultations with Israeli and Palestinian leaders, Blinken announcing the restoration of ties with the Palestinians through the reopening of the United States Consulate General in Jerusalem. Additionally, Blinken says that President Biden will request an increase in financial aid for the sake of development and rebuilding efforts.
This relief is urgent. We have to respond to the profound need to help people in this moment. To that end, I informed President Abbas and earlier Prime Minister Netanyahu that the United States will notify Congress of our intention to provide $75 million in additional development and economic assistance for the Palestinians in 2021. We'll also provide $5.5 million in immediate disaster assistance for Gaza and a little over $32 million for UNRWA's emergency humanitarian appeal. This new assistance comes on top of significant support that the United States has recently committed and resumed to the Palestinian Authority, to Palestinians, to different agencies and groups.
As for keeping aid out of the hands of Hamas, Blinken arguing that the reconstruction efforts would undermine the Gaza-based terror group.
Look, if we do this right, reconstruction and then and relief for the people of Gaza, far from empowering Hamas, I think has the potential to undermine it. I say that because Hamas thrives, unfortunately, on despair, on misery, on desperation, on a lack of opportunity. Our goal is to give the Palestinian people, including those in Gaza, a renewed sense of confidence, of optimism, of real opportunity. In my judgment, at least, if we're able to do that altogether, then Hamas's foothold in Gaza will slip, and we know that, and I think that Hamas knows that.
Likewise, as Blinken is leaving, UK Foreign Minister Dominic Raab arriving for similar meetings with Israeli and Palestinian officials and carrying the same missions as Washington.
Look, Hamas is a terrorist organization. We affirm Israel's right to self-defense, of course. At the same time, we need to try and create the conditions so that Palestinians can enjoy a better standard of life. We can get humanitarian aid in. We've already provided an emergency package of £3 million to provide humanitarian relief. We need to get that to where it's needed. Palestinian civilians in Gaza, on the West Bank, and I think raising the standards of living, providing at least some stability for Palestinians is the best way to marginalise the extremists and find a track towards that two-state solution.
No clear details as to how aid will actually be kept from Hamas, however, have been outlined. And at least for the time being, Hamas still a major player in negotiations with Israel and the West as it maintains an iron grip over the Gaza Strip. Hamas terror leader Ismail Haniyeh just announcing his own invitation from Cairo to negotiate ceasefires and other agreements through the Egyptian authorities. This is the first time Haniyeh has been invited to Egypt since fleeing from Gaza to Qatar.